Okay, guys, this is the throttle body injection job with the fifth cut on the 194. It's still a 45 seat. The only thing I did is I brought out our divided wall between the two cylinders till it was paper thin. You know, you can see it starting to dent with a rough burr. Because I wasn't going to spend an hour making it perfect because I don't care. This is the junk head. I just needed to take the area out and see what it would do. As far as our liquid is concerned, not bad, really. Really not bad. You got to remember, this is a lot tighter chamber, right? Smaller valve, way smaller bowl. And it does have, obviously it's got the same cut as last time you've seen it as far as the ramp. But the ramp is going to work differently now that we added area to the straight wall side. How does our valve look? Damn good. Damn good. You know what's really interesting? Compare it to our done to the max 2.1. Interesting, right? Not that much different, really. Even after I changed so much stuff, the liquid still comes around pretty close. Let's see what the bore looks like. Okay, the bore is not bad, but it's a little drippy. It is nice and wide. Okay, you can see on that wall where it's starting to dimple. Now, I used a very aggressive burr on that. I used this this giant, well, I wouldn't say giant, but it's got giant teeth on it. Double cut. It's actually supposed to be for aluminum, but I use it on iron because I don't listen to anybody. And basically, I brought that wall as straight as I could without breaking it through. On the short side, you're able to move it over quite a bit. So that added a lot of area to our short side. Okay, the roof hasn't been touched really. It's stock. We do have a big cut on this side. We did that another cut before. Not really thrilled with the shape of that, but it's all right. It was a loser, but I figured after we took area out of the divided wall, it wouldn't be a loser anymore. We'll see. We'll see whether I was right with that or not. And all the way up through to the plug, really not bad as far as our liquid goes. Okay, no flow sheet, so I did have to fire my wife because, it's her job. So I just told her she's fired. No big deal. Okay, this was the fourth cut, but this was a loser. Let's compare this one, and then I'll see if I can find the third cut. I should be able to. All right, we got a plus, a minus, a minus, a minus, plus, 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 plus. Now, I used a different retainer, so I wasn't able to go as high a lift. I didn't realize the other retainer I used was taller, so it hit the guide balls faster. But we got some decent gains in here. You got 5 at 300. And like 500 here, you're up almost 12. That's a nice gain. You can get that with a decent street cam. 242. That's what? 12, 13 more than a standard Vortec is going to put out with the same size valves. I'm doing this for guys that are, broke. They got a set of these. You're still going to have to put guides in it. You're still going to have to get the seats done. So this is what you can do with a decent amount of grind and not a huge amount. The pinch got rounded and opened a little bit. The short side got wider a little bit. I took that notch out of the ramp. A little bit of work in chamber. A little bit of work in the bowl. Send it. In fact, it's probably a relatively tight bowl ratio. Let me measure that for you guys. Okay, that's what our throat is, 88.4, which is about where I like a 45. But remember, it's a different bowl design. It actually likes the bigger throat. Let's take a look at our swirl. Our swirl's kind of interesting because it does change quite a bit from the last one. It really is interesting what happens to the swirl curve. Right now that you give it some more short side and you give it some more area on the other side of the bowl. This was actually a negative 202. This was a positive 255, okay? So you got a minus, plus, plus, minus, 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 minus. The rest of it's minuses. Okay, interesting to think about. You know, all right, let's do the air speeds, and then we'll grab that other cut, and because this fourth cut was a loser. We'll compare this one to the third cut, which was a winner. Okay, top was our last cut, handwritten. Crapola is this one. Plus, minus, minus as far as speeds. Look how dead it was on the roof here. Wow. Okay, went down, went down. I measured the roof a little bit differently. Look how fast that, not roof, the ramp. The edge of the, very edge of the ramp, I can get the speed off of. And it's screaming at 217 compared to how slow these are, right? Which makes sense. You gotta have that air moving up the ramp, and that's where you're picking up that speed. As far as the short side, minus, minus, minus. It's got more area, so you would figure it would go down. Let me see if I can dig up that other flow sheet and we'll compare it, see if it actually is a winner. Okay, guys, my mistake. I missed this flow sheet. The last one that was a loser was the fifth cut. This is actually our sixth cut. No big deal. This is the one that was a loser. Look at how many losers we have, but we got a little gain at the top. I wasn't happy with that. How is it compared to this one? Let's do different pluses and minuses. Okay, really didn't have to change much. Minus, 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 minus. All the low lifts lost a little bit. And then pluses all the way up. So, how'd we do? I'd still take this one. I like the extra area around that bolt. As far as our swirl, these really didn't change much either. Okay? Minus, plus, plus, minus, 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 minus. And that street lifts, 2,700, 2,900. I'll take the 27, thanks. Let's take a quick look at those air speeds. All right, as far as our pluses and minuses, none of them have changed. Now, I measured the ramp speed here, but I measured this ramp speed differently, so you can't really compare that ramp speed to this ramp speed. But we got a plus, minus, minus as far as our pinch. We've got a minus, minus on the roof. We've got a minus, minus, minus on our short side. But at 500, we're flowing more. Are we flowing a lot more? We'll go from 240 to 242.7. Not much. In any case, I like taking that area out. I don't know whether it's worth it to break through the boss for a 194. I doubt it. Okay, not really a bad cut for someone that wants to get some decent performance out of throwaway heads. Now, in reality, it might be a touch better if we had that ramp back a little bit more. Right now, it's maybe 2:30. Maybe it would be better at 2 o'clock, but we're already past that point. I don't know if I'm going to do another one of these this size. As far as our liquid, I think it looks damn good. You know, nice powdering by the plug. We're gonna leave that like that. I think the only other thing I'm going to do to this 194 is I'll cut it for a 50 and I'll give it a little bit more throat and we'll see what that is. I'm willing to bet that's a winner. And think of it this way. If you got to get a valve job, it shouldn't cost any more to put a 50 on it as it does a 45. I mean, in reality, it really shouldn't cost any more money. So I'm willing to bet we'll gain probably about 5 CFM in the higher lifts with a 50. We'll find out. All right, guys. I think I'm going to quit because it's Friday night. And I will hit this after working on the mother-in-law's house for a while tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.